Damas y caballeros, ladies and gentlemen, bienvenidos al show. Vida en cero gravedad. Life in zero gravity. Tú sabes las vibras. You know the vibes. By now you're aware of what we do on this program. We've been at it since November 11, 2019. I should probably shout that date out more. Yeah, we're closing in on 5 years. That's crazy. If you're wondering why it's season 6, it's because the first one I decided to it was kind of like a test thing. It was fun. I would recommend going back, like listen to the first episode and just, it was pretty spontaneous and just fun. There's a lot of punching in, but a lot of fun at the same time. So yeah, I'm gonna get into it. So I went back in the studio yesterday. I I realized I did not promote it at all. I didn't put it out there. I'm really just one of these artists that's all about the art, and I don't even care about music videos really. I guess if I had more of a budget, a lot of the stuff that I want to do would require a lot of planning and budget and stuff I just don't have as like an independent artist. So it makes it tough. But yeah, I am just more about making quality music that's memorable. So for me, all that stuff is kind of like, yeah, that's cool, but the posting, the promoting and all that, it's like, just listen to the music. Like, just give it a shot. I know it's oversaturated. But yeah, I recorded a few new songs. It felt good to get back in there. We were at Pirate Studios again. And I don't know, me and New Jack, shout out to New Jack. Thank you for your help. He enjoys it. Like, I just expect it to be like a chore, So I'm like, he's not going to want to do this. But I give him props for being down and genuinely enjoying it, as you should as an artist, But you never know. Like, it is recording that fun. But I mean, when you're creating, when you're part of the creative process, like you're giving me cues. One of the songs is one of our songs, actually. So I guess that's part of it. It's a song he produced. He had a co-producer on that one. I forget what the guy's name was. This track, I was looking at it though. I literally wrote it like exactly 3 years ago. And I had recorded it. I think I talked about this on the last show. So I recorded it and it just needed to be mixed a little more. He lost all the files. So I had to redo it. And I gotta say, I mean, y'all will see, but it's coming together. We'll see what the final verdict is on everything. I really think that people are going to like that track a lot. I can't say if it's better than the original recording, but here's the thing. The original one's gone, so it doesn't matter. We both kind of laughed at that. I was like trying to compare it. I'm like, honestly, that one's gone, so it doesn't even matter. Like, that one is never going to see the light of day again. I think this one was better, though. I felt more confident, and it was crazy because I one-taked everything, despite the fact that I have not looked at that song in like probably almost 3 years, honestly. So it was crazy. Maybe 2 years since I actually looked at it. Like, I found it again. I didn't think I was going to find it. And I was like, I have so many notebooks. And I guess it was really meant to be, honestly, because I was like, damn, I don't want to look through like, I got probably at least 11 notebooks. I was just like, please, man. Please. But luckily, it worked out. So I'm glad about that. Yeah, I'm glad. I was really not looking forward to looking through all that. It's like I just write so much. Like, looking through years of writing a song every day, or sometimes multiple songs in a day. Like, I was like, please no. Please no. But it worked out. It all worked out, and I'm glad about that. I'm happy about that. I felt good to lay that one down, and hopefully it'll be out soon. I'm looking forward to it. I hope It finally sees the light of day. It's a song I've been excited about for years, and I'm looking forward to y'all hearing it. I don't think I've made a lot of different styles. I've probably made something that's kind of comparable to that, but I don't think that actually really anyone has made a song quite like that. I don't even want to say who it sounds like because then y'all are going to be expecting something. And then if I said it, I don't think you'd be let down. But there's somebody I'm thinking of, give you a hint. Somebody that passed away. Someone that y'all know I was a fan of. I'm still a fan of. I mean, just because they're not like I stopped being a fan because they passed away. So y'all will see when you hear it, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I shouldn't say too much about it. I think it'll be out soon. And then I recorded another track. I recorded like that one. It took a little while. Here's the thing. Pirate. Couple things, man. Why is the Other Godcast studio always like booked? How is that possible? What's going on there? It's sus. It's like I always want to try it. Y'all only got 2. So I always want to see like what's that one like, I tried this one. We've moved around. We were at Studio 8 this time at Pirate for music. But I tried to book it. It was booked. I was shocked. I planned to do like a Godcast marathon, and someone actually booked the stew. Like I was shocked. It's never been booked at all. And it was the crazy thing was it was booked for like right when I was planning to do it. It was booked for, I was trying to book it from, let me see, 5 to 9. It was booked until 9. I was like, what? It's never booked like this. And the thing that sucked is I already booked the song recording because I was just going to go back to back, record songs, and jump into podcast mode. Godcast mode, as a matter of fact. Not just podcast mode, but Godcast mode. So I was going to get into it. I was all ready. Try to book it, and somebody booked it, and I was just shocked. I was like, what? This has never happened. I should have booked in advance, to be fair. Now I know. Lesson learned. But it's never been booked at all. Like, it's never been an issue. I mean, usually you can get a studio, too. Like, they're not usually... It's a 24-hour studio. So they're not usually... There's usually, like, some type of slot you can get. But on this one, it was, like, the one... It wasn't booked the rest of the day. And then the other podcast studio, it was booked, like, all day. And every time I see it, it's booked all day. I don't know if it's broken or what, but it's really weird that, like, that would be booked like that all the time. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on in there. I want to know. I'm curious. I know they have a podcast they host. They got to get me on there because I'm probably one of the only podcasters that actually records there. Like, fairly consistently. Every couple months at least, I'll be over there, So, what's up, Pirate? Honestly, y'all should just let me record for free there. I feel like. I mean, I've done a lot to boost your brand and all that, and I don't know. I feel like I deserve it. So, I'm looking forward to making it happen. I enjoy, like, it's something about those podcasts. It's just fun. I don't know. I'm sure y'all have seen some of them. It's always been with New Jack. I've always had New Jack there when we did those. It's just been us too. I've tried to get other people. It just has not worked out. It's just been us. So hopefully we could get it done soon. I'm looking forward to it. Why is stuff always messed up though? Pirate. This time it was the soundproof curtain. It was like on the floor. Couldn't get it back up. Well, actually, it was that, and then it was like their device wasn't working, so we couldn't record in the first place. Then once we got that working, which took a while, then the soundproof curtain's on the ground. So we're not going to get a good, like... It would probably get a decent recording, but not what we should get. Oh, one time, I couldn't get... the recorder to work like the entire time. I had to record it on my phone. That was such a waste. I had to record the whole Godcast on my phone. I forgot about that. Like, I was in the studio and I had to, like, it didn't work, so I just had to record it on my phone, man. And it's like, I probably should have got my money back. It was like, it already started. We both already drove there, and I was like, well, let's just do it anyway. But it just sucked. It was like, man, y'all got to get it together. I'm your ambassador. Like, you can't have me out here looking bad, you know? Can't have me out here looking bad. But yeah, anyway. I'm definitely going to be recording over more Doom beats. It's such a natural fit. Like, I'm surprised because I'll be honest, I haven't always been the biggest Doom fan. It took me a while to appreciate his work. I think it's just because the fans would get annoying. Like, Doom fans could be kind of like pretentious. And it was like, well, I mean, you know, I've heard better. When really, honestly, Doom's in a pretty elite tier of rapper, you know. He's like a good version of Earl Sweatshirt. No, I'm just playing. No, Earl's cool, but Earl, I think, is a little bit overrated by the fans. Actually, hella overrated. I'm just gonna say it. Like, lyrically, Earl's cool, but that's about it. He's cool lyrically. Some songs are cool. His music is incredibly boring a lot of the time, and I'm not trying to diss Earl. I know there's some deep meanings behind it. I know, like, I believe his father's a poet, and yeah, so I'm not hating, but I've seen people say that he's like one of the best of all time, and I'm like, it's hard when, like, Doom existed, and it's like Doom is just better in every way. And I think Earl would probably say that too, to be honest. I don't think Earl would say he's better than Doom. When I hear Earl, I'm just like hearing Doom again, but it's like Doom, I liked his beat selection and production more. He did a lot of his own production and worked with Madlib, who's one of the best producers ever. So it's like, I felt like Earl didn't quite nail the Doom thing, because Earl raps over some awful beats sometimes, man. Just awful. What was that one? There's one that's like, I don't mean to turn this into a Earl dish show, but man. That being said, I'm about to channel some Doom, and I may have mentioned it on the program before, but I'm planning to release a Monster Zero mixtape, all Doom beats. You might be able to, you Doom fans out there may be able to deduce why it's called Monster Zero. It makes a lot of sense. I'll give you a second to think about it. Okay, so I'm Zero. I'm a monster, right? Doom, one of his aliases was King Ghidorah, aka King Ghidorah from, you know, Godzilla. So, the code name for King Ghidorah is Monster Zero. There you go. I think it's kind of perfect, honestly. I think I may do a lot of. Well, let me not even get into that. I have a good idea for that mixtape. It's going to be a lot more thought out than other mixtapes, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be fun. It's going to be a good time. I think y'all will like it. But yeah, it's on the way. I've actually probably recorded maybe 4 tracks for it. I want to say maybe even more, but for sure, y'all have heard some of them. I put them out a while ago. It's probably gonna go on SoundCloud or something. I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble with the copyrights and stuff, so I'm doing it for the love of it. I'm not trying to make money off of Doom's name. It's just like, I really have a great appreciation for what he did. I think he's one of the best rappers ever, best MCs ever, and be a cool way to honor his legacy. And honestly, just the chemistry. Like, I never rapped over a Doom beat until, well, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure I did freestyling and all that, you know. but I didn't rap over any Doom beats for years, and I feel like I advanced so much as an artist, like especially like what the last 8 years, particularly, you know, last 6 years especially. I just feel like I advanced so much and got so much more versatile. So for me to rap over Doom beats now is like I'm finding such interesting flows on them, which I think y'all will appreciate. So that'd be cool. I'm looking forward to it. And that brings me to Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom in the MCU. Can't remember if I talked about it. I'm not gonna talk about it a lot either way. It's interesting. We'll see. For y'all that don't know, there are actually a few comics where Tony Stark becomes Doctor Doom, because people were mad about that. People were upset that Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doom, like, because it's like, oh, I know him as Iron Man. He can't be Doom now. It's gonna throw me off. Here's the thing. Even if he plays Victor Von Doom, which I don't know, he's a very good actor. He just won an Oscar. So not only could he play a different character, Victor Von Doom, if you're familiar with the character, part of the reason he wears that metal mask is because his face is melted. His face is destroyed. So, like, they can make him not look like Robert Downey Jr. It would actually fit into what the character is. I'm just saying. So it's actually not as wild as y'all probably think. But we don't know. We don't know. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. I will definitely check it out. I don't think Marvel has gone as downhill as some people think. Especially, like, I mean, what I'm going to get to in my movie review. I was going to say movie reviews. There's only one. I only got to see, I feel like I saw something else, but I'm not gonna talk about that because I don't know. So I'm like, I don't want to like talk about something I already talked about, but we at least got one movie review for you. That being said, before I get to this movie review, they better have MF Doom tracks in the movie, at least one, but preferably I think they should get a few in there. There's Avengers Doomsday, right? Dr. Doom has not, I don't think he's been in a movie since like those crappy Fantastic Four movies. So it's been a while. Actually, I didn't really see those. I saw bits and pieces and I wasn't interested. My bad. They might not have been that bad. I haven't heard good things about them, but I should clarify that I haven't really seen those movies. But yeah, Doom, one of the greatest villains. They better put MF Doom tracks. You have to, man. Like a legendary rapper made his whole persona based on one of your characters, and is like made classic albums based on this. Like, you have to. It just makes too much sense not to do. We at least need to have, and this is so nerdy. I'm just gonna warn you right now. I've watched this trailer, right? We at least got to have all caps over the credits. We at least got to do that. I think we could squeeze something else into there. I think you could. Shoot, you could even do a whole Doom soundtrack, to be honest with you. I don't think they would do that, but I wouldn't complain. I mean, it's already there for you. It's an easy move to make. There's a lot of different styles within that. Why not? Why not? I wish he was alive to see that, man. They might have even brought him on as a creative consultant, or something. Like, he probably would have made an appearance. Maybe he will. You never know, honestly. Maybe he's secretly still alive. No, but honestly, well, actually, you can't really rule that out. You never know, man. He wears a mask. Like, Who knows? But yeah, they gotta get at least something in there. They have to, man. They have to. I hope they do. I think it would be a real missed opportunity if they didn't. So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna get to this review. KZRO reviews. And that was weird. I don't know why I did that like that. It's KZRO reviews, ladies and gentlemen. So this week the movie I saw was. That's not gonna work, huh? Deadpool and Wolverine, ladies and gentlemen. I think as comic book fans, we've been waiting years for that movie. You know, ever since we've seen that they're going to be in the movie together. And then we saw Wolverine actually wearing the yellow suit. We saw that. So, like, this is a interesting review. So, first of all, easily one of the funniest comic book movies ever. Like, no doubt. Very funny movie. You know, like a comedy, really. It was like straight up like a comedy with like the action. They didn't go too heavy on the multiversal stuff. They actually made fun of it. I mean, they did in a way, you know. Shit got spoiled for me. I'm gonna get into that because I'm mad about that shit. I'm fucking mad. I hate that. I hate spoilers. I probably shouldn't even put that out there because now one of you motherfuckers is gonna try to spoil shit for me. But in the future, man, I'm fucking going day one. I'm sick of. I started doing that because both Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame got ruined for me by assholes writing shit on like articles about rappers and then writing, Infinity War death list. It's like, what the fuck? Like doing stuff like that, literally, where it's like, this is totally unrelated and they just drop it in there to spoil it. It's like they get some pleasure out of spoiling shit for people. I wanted to throw hands. I legitimately did. I was like, bro, we've invested like 20 years of our life into this fucking buildup, and your ass comes in here and fucking ruins it. Maybe not 20. How many years? No, honestly, like 20. I was a kid when those came out, like the first movies. That's crazy to think. Yeah, legit, like, let's say 15, but man. Yeah, that shit pissed me off, bro. That shit really pissed me off. People ruining it. So they ruined this. This is spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, turn away right now for a couple minutes, okay? There are spoilers. Please, I'm about to say some spoilers. I don't want to fuck the movie up for you. Just skip this. Just skip 5 minutes ahead. I don't think I'm going to talk about it for 5 minutes. So, what got spoiled for me was, let's see, Gambit, fucking Blade. Elektra didn't get spoiled, weirdly. Actually, Human Torch didn't get spoiled, but those two got spoiled, right? Which fucking pisses me off. It's like, why are we doing that? And it was on fucking Threads. Next time I'm staying the fuck off Threads when a movie that I don't want spoiled comes out. Because you assholes will just like fucking put that out there. Like, bro, it's barely fucking out. It was like Thursday fucking night that they're doing this. It's like the movie's not even officially out everywhere. You motherfuckers are doing this. Shit just pissed me off, man. It's annoying as fuck. You know. So, that being said, it was so cool to see Blade again. Even Elektra, that was cool. You know, and the jokes that they made, stuff like that. Gambit, that was funny, man. Like, I've seen a couple people quote that line. Who's your dialogue coach? The minions? You can't understand what Gambit. I mean, I understand. The funny part is I actually understood him because, like, I know Louisiana people. I've been around Louisiana people, and like, yeah, Like I could actually decipher it. And I thought it was funny. So, but yeah, it was hard for the average person to understand. I thought it was funny though, man. I enjoyed it. Um, I think. Is there any other stuff that I could spoil? Um, just them making fun of the multiverse, you know. Oh, them actually having the Wolverine mask. That surprised me. I didn't expect that. I thought it just seemed like they weren't gonna do it. Like part of me was like, are you were wondering like the whole time, are they gonna do the Wolverine mask? Are they? And then the later it gets, they don't. He doesn't put it on until the end. But that was cool, man, because I watched the comics and I never really had a problem with him not wearing the comic suit because Wolverine was, he was dressed like plain clothes a lot of the time too in the comics and on the cartoon, so I wasn't really tripping that much. And it's like, I mean, Hugh Jackman just embodies Wolverine so well that's like I don't even think about it. But it was cool that they actually did that. So I'll say that. That was cool. Um their chemistry was off the charts. It was funny as hell. You know, like one of my favorite lines. So I forgot who was, somebody kept talking. It might have been Deadpool or it was somebody that kept talking. And he said something about it being free, and then Wolverine just says, "Shutting the fuck up is free too." Like he was just pissed off. It's how pissed off Wolverine is in that movie is funny. I enjoyed it honestly. So, and I think they'll probably make another one. I guess that might be a spoiler, but they probably will. So, I think we're good on the spoilers now. Um, but yeah, one thing. But as I'm giving my rating, this movie may not deserve this high of a score in the traditional film sense because I don't give a lot of movies this high of a score. If you've watched, like, a lot of shit is like 7.6, 7.6, you know, or lower, you know. Um, an 8 is even pretty rare. A lot of it just falls into that range of like, yeah, this pretty good or this decent, you know. Because a 7 on here, a 7 out of 11 is not as good as a 7 out of 10, right? So that's something to keep in mind. So that being said, man, my initial thought was this is an 8, you know, and then I was like maybe 8.5, and then I really thought about it, and I was like, how many comic book movies have I seen that I was more entertained by than this? And it's got to be a really short list. So, what I'm rating this on, entertainment value, right? Acting, overall story, right? And the authenticity. Because a lot of these Marvel movies don't really feel, they're not as gritty as the comics. They're more family friendly. They're fun. They're cool. They do a great job. But there's just something missing, you know, from a lot of them. Logan was a top tier one that did actually feel like it captured the ultra violence and the fucking dark grit of like the comics. This movie and all of the Deadpool movies, I came to this realization. I was like, you know what? Deadpool, the series, I'm sure there's people who like it, dislike it. They might think it's not serious enough. In terms of the actual violence and the Deadpool costume is amazing. Like they've nailed that from day one, you know. And the overall feel of it has always felt more like an actual comic book than a lot of these comic book movies. So that being said, I think this is a 9 out of 11 Zeus slaps God. This was just an overload of fan service in a good way. And, you know, I might have even liked it more if that shit didn't get ruined for me. So that was great. Yeah, that pissed me off, man, because nobody saw Blade coming. So for some fucking asshole to put that out there, fuck that person. I don't even know who you are. I closed the app as soon as I saw it. I was like, God fucking damn it. And then I never confirm it. I remember seeing the death list for Infinity War. And I was like, I'm not going to look this up to see if it's real. But sure enough, as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, yep, okay. So, yeah, that was real. All the fucking people they said were going to die died. And it just fucking ruins it. Please don't fucking do that. Like, you're an asshole for that. I'm sorry that I'm going off on this so much, but it's just such a dick move to me. Because I know the only purpose it serves is for you to just like fuck some shit up for people. You know, I know people like that do that. They get some weird enjoyment out of it. So yeah, I don't know. Just pissing me off. Anyway, yeah, man, highly recommend. I could see some people not liking it. I saw people saying it was corny. I'm gonna be honest with you. When it started, I was like, "Uh oh, I don't know about this." Like, it felt a little forced at the beginning. You know, it was the opening scene was super over the top, and I was just like, "I don't know about this." But then, where I reflected on it, I was like, honestly, that scene was so wild that I can't even hate. Like, that is what you come to expect from Deadpool. So honestly, I like it the more I think about it. I'm not a big fan of CGI though, and that was super CGI, and you could tell. And like, yeah, and I don't think they're giving Deadpool like the greatest budget in the world compared to other properties. So yeah, but that being said, I thought it was cool. Highly recommend if you're a fan of comics, especially if you're a fan of Deadpool and Wolverine, obviously. So, New Jack says you bitches think I hate women. My bad, bitches. And make me a damn sandwich. I apologize. Make me a damn sandwich. No, he said that, and I just thought that I was like, what? I mean, I guess there's been some episodes where I felt like probably seemed negative towards women, right? But I thought that was wild, you know. Especially it was, and I thought it was hilarious considering all the stuff that he said on here. Like, I feel like he has said a lot more controversial things than me when he's been on, like while we're on together for sure. And I'm just like, huh? And the thing that's funny is he told me that girls said like, I feel like he just brings a bad side out of you. And I'm just like, that's who he is, girl. They're saying like, I know you and you're not like that. It's like, you probably don't really know him like that. I've known this fool for 20 years. It's real. He's comfortable on here. It's the same as when we're just hanging out. It's the same shit. It's the same person that he's been for 20 years that I've witnessed. So for y'all to say that is just hilarious. Because I'm just like, y'all don't really know him like that. I'm sure he's given you like, he knows what to say and stuff like that. And it's like every guy, when they're talking to women, like, we're all trying to be on our best behavior. Maybe not all of us, but most of us. So it's like, if y'all felt like he didn't say anything controversial to you, and I don't know, this might just be one person that he's talking about. Who knows if it's even more than one? I met that girl, and she seemed friendly when I met her. She's acting like she thinks I hate women. I don't hate women at all, man. I really don't. I don't like. I get annoyed with women. I never turn into a thing where it's like I'm making it about the whole gender, but I thought that was funny because it's like this is a guy, that he's done things with women that I've never done, but they think he's like this. It's people that know him, and to be fair, it's girls that like. One of the girls that he's talking about specific is somebody that he's had an on and off thing with. So it's like, yeah, she probably thinks pretty highly of you if you guys got this on and off thing going on, you know. But he said she's like a super feminist and she's sensitive, so I could see that. You're not gonna like everything we say. She was saying we don't bash guys enough, and it's like, okay. I mean, I bash guys all the time, but y'all your ears prick up when you hear me say something about women, So actually, I'm about to, yeah. I mean, how many times have I bashed Trump on here? How many times have I bashed guys like Trump? How many times have I said that guys ruin things for us, as other guys ruin things for us? As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure other guys ruin this because they're thinking they're putting me in a box. There's already a negative stereotypes about guys that do podcasts, right? It's like guys will do podcasts instead of go to therapy. Well, bitch, I've done both. So I've been to therapy a lot. I've been to therapy so much that I feel like I don't get anything out of it anymore a lot of the time when I go. It's like, yeah, we've kind of talked through all this stuff. It feels like we're just talking about the same stuff that I'm already cool with, at peace with. Like, there's always going to be issues in life, stuff's going to come up. There's going to be things you don't like, whatever. I mean, I'm not treating people in a way that's irrational. Now, soap dispensers is another story. I punched the shit out of this soap dispenser. I dispensed these hands on this soap dispenser. So I was at the gym and I don't usually take showers at the gym. I just take a shower at home. But I was trying to make it to the recording session. And I was like, I don't want to spend that fucking extra 30 minutes to go home, take a shower, and do all that. So I was like, okay, let me take one there. It will only take a couple minutes, and I was planning to take a shower later too anyway. So it's taking the shower. The soap dispenser doesn't work. Every fucking time I go to the gym and use the shower, which is probably only 10% of the fucking time, somehow the fucking soap dispenser doesn't work. I just had enough. I just boxed 8 5-minute rounds, so my muscles are already pumped up. My hands are already all hardened. I punched the shit out of that thing and it just fucking exploded and cut up my hand. And that's, see, I got those 2 cuts, and then there's that one right there. That thing just got obliterated. And then I hear some guy hey, I think they thought I fell or something. I'm like, I didn't fucking fall. You never catch me slipping, motherfucker. I beat the shit out of this soap dispenser. No soap for you, bitch. I was about to reference that character's name, but no. No, that was a Seinfeld reference. No, ladies and gentlemen. Also, man, people really turned on Seinfeld lately, huh? I wasn't planning on talking about this, but him supporting Israel and his wife donating to Israel and them donating to the protesters, the Palestinian, the protesters that countered the Palestinian protests. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, when I get why y'all don't like Seinfeld for that. I was kind of thinking fuck Seinfeld too when I saw that, as a matter of fact. And I like Seinfeld, but I was like, bias much? This is pretty whack that you're doing this, But what can you do? I mean, Seinfeld has been such a likable guy for so long that it's hard to imagine. But that's the type of shit, man. I have always, I try not to talk about Israel because I felt like I've had a negative opinion just because I'm okay, there's a country there that seems to have problems with almost every other country over there. Isn't it time to consider maybe this country is the one causing the problems in a way? Or even if they're not causing the problems, it'll be their country gets attacked and then they attack times 10. You know what I mean? And then they got us backing them a lot of times, the US backing them, I should say. Not me, I'm not backing them. But so it just feels to me, it feels like Palestine is getting the raw end of the deal a lot of times. And I'm not saying they're innocent. I'm not saying that Hamas is innocent or whatever. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying Iran is innocent or Hezbollah or Lebanon or, I'm not saying that, Israel has never faced any crises and they've never had to deal with any unfairness. You know, it's a mess over there. Let's be honest. Like in the Middle East, it's been a mess for our entire lifetime. It's really been a mess for probably almost every human's entire lifetime, to be honest. They've been fighting over this land for as far as we can remember. So it's like, it's so complex at this point that we can't even really say like, oh, this side's to blame, this side didn't do anything wrong, they're totally in the right, they're totally in the wrong. Like everything else in life, it's a complicated thing. But Israel, we need a ceasefire. It's gotten ridiculous. Them killing the negotiator of the ceasefire just means that they're saying, fuck the ceasefire, fuck negotiations, we're doing what we want to do, fuck you. That's what it seems like to me. Fuck Benjamin Netanyahu, that fucking prick. I don't like that guy. You know, every time I learn something about him, I'm like, what a fucking asshole. But anyway, but he keeps netting the yahoos on the right wing who support Israel no matter what. And I'm just like, you know, part of the reason that these people support Israel is because they actually, this is going to sound wild, they actually want the end of the world to be brought on by a conflict in the Middle East, because they believe that the Bible foretells that. They want that to happen. Like, I've fucking heard so many right-wing people say that shit. So that's why they support that shit. You know, and then for whatever reason, like the Christian right hates Muslims, even though honestly, like the weirdest thing to me is like Islam has more in common with Christianity than Judaism does. It's just such an odd thing that they hate each other. And me as an observer, like knowing what I know about all the faiths, I'm like, it's all the same. At the end of the day, it's all the same lessons, pretty much just changing the names or like emphasizing like, oh, Muhammad's more important than Islam, but Jesus is still a prophet. You know, it's like, okay, but you both love Jesus though. Like, so it's like, it's just interesting, man. There's common ground there, but people don't get it. Anyway, all of this is unplanned. I'm sure I have not spoken about this in the most eloquent way. Don't quote me on this, you know, but yeah, I mean, saying fuck Netanyahu isn't exactly brave. I'm pretty sure most of the Middle East feels like that, including most of Israel. He has a very low approval rating right now. They don't want the war either. So I don't mean to, maybe it's not fair to criticize all of Israel. Fuck the people running Israel right now. You know, that's the truth. That's what it comes down to. The people running Israel are doing a piss poor job, and they're causing so much more death and destruction than is necessary, which none of it's necessary, but they're just exacerbating the problem. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. I'm sure it's going to come up. I mean, I'm sure I'll be talking about that to some extent for the entire duration of my life, because I don't think that conflict is ever going to end. And if it does end and we all die, and fucking the right wing people get to go to heaven or whatever the fuck they think is going to happen, and then we all burn. All us leftists are going to burn because we don't believe what they believe. Now, me personally, I think if there's an omnipotent being, if there's a God, which I believe there is, you know, if you don't, I totally get it, because I understand that skepticism. I'm not one of these people that thinks like, oh, if you question that at all, you're going to hell. You need to just believe. I'm like, no, always ask questions. You can never ask too many questions. Always try to get that clarification. I don't believe in blind faith. Ask questions, you know, ask the questions. That's just my thing. You know, if it's true, it's true. You're not gonna, it's not gonna make it untrue because you asked questions. The truth is gonna come out. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I don't like the anti-intellectualism out there, man. Ask fucking questions. You don't know. None of us know shit about shit. We're basically just borrowing knowledge from people. And who knows if they borrowed knowledge. We're just getting hand-me-downs of hand-me-downs of hand-me-downs of knowledge. No one knows shit about shit. So no one knows anything about anything. I don't know. I almost thought about calling the episode that, but nah, I think there's better. Something better. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. So yeah. Damn, I had all this talk about women. But anyway, yeah. So the bitches say that I hate bitches. I love my bitches. Come on, man. Zero grav is for the bitches and hoes. I'm down with the bitches and hoes. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I'm just fucking around. Yeah. So I don't know. As far as New Jack appearing on my show, he does most of the talking. He does a lot of the talking, right? I ask questions. He doesn't answer like 80% of my questions. Like I write a list, we barely get to any of the list every time. And it's kind of funny, but so I think it's hilarious to say that I bring a side out of him when it's like we don't even go off of what I have in mind. This is literally 80% of what he's doing is just rambling about whatever he wants to ramble about. I have no control of that really, other than I guess I could just say, "Hey, stop." But I mean, I'm not going to do that. But because I find it interesting, I find what he has to say interesting for the most part until he starts getting into his preachy, like I know everything about everything vibe and like an expert on everything there is to know. Like once he gets into that mode, I'm like, okay, that's enough of this. But for the most part, I think it's entertaining, and we have great chemistry from knowing each other for so long. But I have to say that that was hilarious to me. The guy that's mentioned his body count being like over 100, which who knows if that's true or not. I want to say I'll take his word for it, but that just sounds high, man. Like you got to really make an effort. Not that I'm sure I could do that. I don't want to do that. I'm nowhere near 100, by the way. I'm not gonna. I don't even like to think about body count, but I'm like nowhere near 100. I'm nowhere near half of that, to be honest. I'm nowhere near that. So I just gotta say, like, I don't know. Maybe it's true. I don't know, but I will say that it's funny for a girl. I don't know if she knows that, if she magically missed those episodes, but he said it on here like multiple times, I think. So I'm just like, yo, you think I'm the bad influence in that situation? Like, I didn't make him fuck all those girls. I love you, New Jack. I'm not trying to dish you, but you gotta admit that is hilarious for someone to say that. Who knows if that's even true? And honestly, I'm not upset about it or anything. I just like I realized that I could create so much content. I could make a whole episode about that, pretty much. Which is we gotta do a lot. There's nothing about Israel on this paper, by the way. So I'm pulling a New Jack right now, and I'm like not following any of what was in mind. Following a little, but yeah, I thought that was funny, man. I thought it was funny. Yeah, like 80% of what he says has nothing to do with any of the questions I asked. So it's like that's all him, man. Most of the negative stuff I say about women is based on my personal experiences. It's shit. It's me describing shit that actually fucking happened. So it's kind of funny for someone to say that. It's like, no, it's not that I hate them or anything. I'm literally just telling you what they did. Maybe I'll talk some shit about it, but I'm just pretty much saying what they did. So I just thought that, I don't know, it's just funny, man. Oh, man. One girl, I loaned 4K. Another girl, I loaned 6K. Another girl, I basically loaned 50K. I'm not going to get any of that back, and none of them appreciated it. So I don't hate women, but it's like that type of shit is fucked up. And if I call that out and say it's fucked up, that doesn't mean that I'm like anti-feminist or whatever. Like I'm like I consider myself a feminist, to be honest with you. I've said that. I've endured like a lot of mockery by saying that, a lot of anger from men when I say that. I don't take it back. I do consider myself that. I don't think it's like a bad word. I think that it makes a lot of sense. It's like, I think people just get confused by what it actually means. They think that you're trying to say that women should be elevated over men or women are better than men or whatever. And it's like, it's all about equality. At least that's how I take it. So I'm like, I do want there to be equality for women, you know. I'm not against that at all. I've always supported that. The way my brain works, like, I have always railed against any type of unfairness. I hate unfairness. I hate the nepotism and fucking favoritism and all that bullshit that clouds so many industries and keeps like the best and brightest from really shining, because it's like you got to be behind like the fucking coach's son or whatever the fuck. Oh, you got to be behind the record label's nephew, the record label owner's nephew, you know. It's just all that type of shit. Oh, you got to be behind, that's their friend, so they get to win the contest over you because that's their friend, even though they suck, like stuff like that. So I've always railed against unfairness, and I feel like women have had the unfair treatment for the longest, you know. So yeah, I don't know, it's just funny, man. There's a lot that's funny about that. I actually, okay, but the last one, the 50K, was actually more. It was more of child support. Okay, I think it was even more than that. I like lost count, but yeah, it was unofficial child support though. I wasn't required by the courts to send that. I sent it anyway. So if I really hated women, I wouldn't have done that. Nah, I actually, honestly, I'm like, I gotta be real with you. I am so straight, and in this time, I don't mean to say that to be a dick or anything. I have no problem with anybody that's gay or trans or you know, bi or poly or however you identify. I have no problem with you whatsoever. I I love women. I love the women with the big curves and just like the super feminine, like, you know, just a stereotype of a woman almost. I love that. Like, I love, you know, I love the hourglass figure. I love like how they smell. I love how just the energy that they give, the nurturing component. Just, you know, I love the strong, confident women. I really, you know, I'm the type of guy, like, I'm never intimidated by women's confidence. I want them to be confident. I don't like when they're not confident. It makes my life harder. You know what I mean? I don't like having to deal with women that have been beaten down by men. I want women to feel good about themselves. I want everyone to feel good about themselves. But, you know, especially women, because I mean that's who I'm going to date, you know. And there have been, like I've said before, there have been thousands of women in my life that I was attracted to. Never a single man. Never once have I looked at a man and been like, ooh. And I don't have a problem with anyone that does. There's not a homophobic bone in my body. Like, do your thing. And honestly, like, it makes sense to me. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. Honestly, I've even mentioned before that I feel like bisexuality makes a lot of sense, because it's like, yeah, if you are a romantic and you like people for who they are, it makes sense that you're not going to care if they got a dick or a pussy, you know. Me personally, I love pussy, you know. I love just the female body, everything about it. So I'm just like, it's just it's funny, man. I don't know how y'all feel. If I ever came across that way, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm secure. I know what I believe, but I look for shit to talk about. This is something I haven't really talked about, so why not do something new, you know? I got a lot more I could do, but let's actually get to a very rare KZRO Sports. So Terence Crawford is now a junior middleweight champ, 154 champ. He gives Israel Madrimov his first loss of his career. He drops to 10-1-1 with 7 knockouts. He put up a good fight. He did not, however, like the fucking idiot Canelo Alvarez said, lose the fight. Crawford did not lose the fight. And that motherfucker should be the last motherfucker talking, because I seen him lose like fucking 5 fights that he won. He lost to Golovkin twice. He lost to Arislandi Lara. You know, I thought he probably lost to Austin Trout, you know. There's been a lot of fights, man. He got that fucking bullshit draw scorecard against Mayweather, and now that judge is like gone. What is his name? CJ Ross. So he should be the last motherfucker talking. I thought Crawford won pretty clearly. The other dude, I didn't feel like did shit to dictate the pace in like hardly any of the rounds. He has some good moments. He landed some good punches, but fucking, he definitely didn't win that fight. Y'all are fucking tripping. I think Crawford has just developed haters now at this point where it's like they want to see him lose. He's like basically the new Floyd and they want to see him lose, you know? And there's always like a contentious thing with black fighters where it's like a lot of people are rooting because they want to see him lose. Crawford, I really don't get, man. The dude's an all action fighter, great fundamentally. He has a mean streak where he's trying to knock people out. How the fuck do you not like that as a boxing fan? It just shows me how racist people are. I'm not going to get too much into it, but fucking a spoiled bitch like Canelo Alvarez, who has had like the Mexican fan base, which is the biggest fan base in boxing, he's had them behind him his whole career, and he thinks that they're behind him because he's some amazing fighter. He's a good fighter. He ain't Terence Crawford. You know what I mean? Like, he's just not. He's a lot more beatable than Terence Crawford is. And honestly, if there was justice in the world, Terence Crawford would be a bigger name than Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez he's a good fighter. He's gonna end up being a Hall of Famer. He fucking cherry picks like no other, man. Bunch of bullshit ass names and bullshit ass timing on his record. So I'm just done with that whole like time period in boxing. He's been babied his whole career and like just he's fought some good fighters. He fights a lot of fucking people he has no business fighting. Why the fuck is he fighting Edgar Berlanga? What the fuck? Why? Nobody wants to see that fucking fight. It's meaningless. Why not David Benavidez? Why not Beterbiev? Artur Beterbiev? Why this guy that hasn't fought anyone, that almost got knocked out by a no-name? Why this guy? It just seems like a duck. But anyway, Brandon Ayuk might be traded by the Niners. At this point, I'm over that whole saga. I didn't want him to go, but it's like it's just been drawn out so long. I think the Niners are done too, and it's just like, bro, he's not going to be as good anywhere else, I don't think. To be honest with you, I don't think it's going to work. There's a lot of targets on that team that draw the attention away from him. I'm sure he'll be good. He's not. I think if he doesn't stay with the Niners, he's going to have a tough time, I believe. So I don't know if that's what he wants. Like at this point, I don't know how they feel, but I would almost be ready to let him walk because it's just gotten ridiculous. Clayton Kershaw has returned. He has struggled mightily. It's sad to watch. He's such a good guy that it's like I hate seeing him lose. It sucks to see him suck. I hope he gets it together, man. Rough times. But anyway, that's going to do it for KZRO Sports. And now, let us read from the Book of Grav. This country is a sham to me. The U.S. is a fantasy. It was never the land of the free. Its sins are too expansive to see. This country is a sham to me. The U.S. is a fantasy. It was never the land of the free. Its sins are too expansive to see. There will never be an end to racism. We will never heal the great schism. They say people make it all about race, but the racist structure keeps calling out plays every day. A lot of whites don't care, actually. It don't affect them. It ain't their tragedy. Whites want buried hatchets for the ratchetry. Blacks can't even wear their hair naturally. 'Cause so many places still discriminate. If their walls could talk, they douse them in hate. Racism makes no sense logically. It's a tool used by rich diabolically, destructive to all psychologically, a monstrosity of an atrocity. Black people deserve to live peacefully, but this country ain't close to where it needs to be. My bad. This country is a sham to me. The U.S. is a fantasy. It was never the land of the free. Its sins are too expansive to see. This country is a sham to me. The U.S. is a fantasy. It was never the land of the free. Its sins are way too expansive to see. Thank y'all for listening. This has been Life in Zero Gravity. I'm sorry for fucking that up at the end. My throat is still pretty dry from like all the recording we did. It got into like it was a lot of high energy, tough to maintain. So yeah, I'm looking forward to coming out with these tracks and just having a great time, man. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for the support. Stay safe out there. You know, this episode might get me in some trouble, but I'm just keeping it real with the people. And I don't, at this point, we need more of that. When you listen to this, I don't have any sponsors, but I don't have the corporate sponsors that are going to try to ruin everything, that are going to tell me what to say and all that. Much love, much peace. Until next time, man. This has been Life in Zero Gravity.